I'm here to talk about the real news, which is the astrology, the season that we're going through that affects us all. We are going through a process. It's hard to explain that how you're one with this. It's coming through us. This cosmic events that are celestial that we call astrology. The reason why we talk about it, see, we wouldn't know about it unless we were it, and it's our evolutionary process. And so what's happening, jumping right into it, we have. Well, you know about the Mars aspect that is ongoing. It's very peculiar because of how just things have just slowed down. It has to do with our physical bodies and our drives, very raw, spontaneous, energetic field of our nervous system, really. It's Mars. So it's in Cancer, which is not a comfy place. It's very sensitive and it's trying to get into self-care, nurturing. If you're not, then something has slowed you down and made you do it in a way. It's like, wow, I didn't expect to have a cast on at this time. I mean, well, that's what you get for not really. um See, it's really interesting. See, an astrologer will tell people, well, I wouldn't do that though, but wait until next week. It's strange because you'll know a person, you'll have done their chart, but then they're not talking to you or anything, but then you'll observe, well, this is the week that they should not do that. And they fucking, out of all the weeks, they jump up and do it. And it doesn't work. And you're like, that was interesting. That's why you want to kind of, you can get an edge. Just get an edge. It's just like the possibility is there. It's like, well, actually, since it is accident prone, you be extra careful and you do a weird move that says, no, actually, instead of just driving in the middle, I'm going to drive way over here. And then a trash truck comes 3 feet over the line, and you're like, this is why I did that. This is why you do astrology. This has really happened to me. Oh, I know. I'm a Mars ruled person, so I'm not being triggered by this aspect of the Chiron. Now, I am actually, though. It's mild, but it's there. No, I was triggered. I am experiencing something that's not hard. I mean, not easy to go through. I'm having to understand it more and more and more just by myself here because the party that's involved is going through such a life. I don't, they're the type that doesn't work out the more complex. If they do, they don't communicate. That's the bottom line, and that's what I'm having trouble with it. And you do not have a relationship or something trustworthy there that doesn't communicate and doesn't like your communication. You know, you can just tell. The main thing that they will express is "Are you done yet?" or something like that. And so anyway, can't go there anymore. I can't. I am trying to. I am just wow, unfortunate turn of events where it's like you break down because you couldn't get your time. You felt now you feel just mucked up because it's actually time, and it takes a lot to have built up a stability enough to say now this is the way I want it, you know. And unfortunately for me, it's not the way I want it to be isolated in a relationship, more like a situationship, that I'm just very unsure. I feel it's unsolid ground. Pardon me while I open this window to have my little cat go in there. She's so cute. I'm convinced my little cat is she's a little cat and she's very very unique. I'm telling you, I've had cats before, male and female. But this little one right here, she might be autistic or something. But no, maybe she's 5D. I think she's going to be good. But no, okay, I'm sorry, I'm getting off the subject matter. I want to talk about astrology. She doesn't climb trees. She doesn't jump up. She goes down more. She falls. She goes in a hole. She likes to climb in caves. And she winds up on her back a lot. I noticed this. It's like, why is she? And then she'll talk about something. It's like, well, what happened? And I think something happened when she was a baby kitty that she was stuck and she tries to get into it. I'm like, well, and I'm working this stuff out. And anyway, okay. Hi, how are you? I was trying to talk about, gosh, this is important that we kind of tell people what's going on with the human organism, the possibility that the human organism is trying to, this is the whole point, is it's trying to get its human bone on, you know? And so thank God for that. See, Venus is going into Aries, and see the movement that it's doing. I tried to explain it in one video, but I'm going to put this on the Thursday or something. That, okay, Venus is our feminine side, the feminine part, the part of our love life, the values system, and all this. It's very important to acknowledge that that's there, by the way. Otherwise, you don't really have a fun time. It's our pleasure zone. It's good to talk about Venus now because it's issues of the heart, which Aquarius is hooked into heart issues electrically. See, the opposite of Aquarius, the lower octave, is Leo, which is the heart itself. And then you have the higher, which is the actions of the plasmatic field. We have the technology itself of what we are is electrical. And the plasmatic field, I don't want to get into the whole science of it now, but it is the science of science that Aquarius points at. It says we are science here. We can know. That's what Aquarius says is I know, and is pouring down information by way of downloads. I got all my downloads when in February. February is proving to be the most stressful, miserable month for me. I mean, you can say it's miserable, but then again, the downloads that would come in out of the stress that has happened, say for instance, when my mother died on February 22nd, 2010. Auspicious time right there, and see that number it just become to me it's like excuse me, yeah, but no, she gave me an experience the same one that Tesla had when his mother died. It's a near-death experience. Technically, they're just kind of dragging you into the realm that they're going in, and she's like cherry on top. This I'm your mother, and how are you, honey? And I'm like, I'm fine, Mom. That was, oh boy, I mean, I can't believe it. And so I was kind of altered for the rest of my life with that one, and um, so still learning something. And I wanted to talk about the astrology, the season, how that it's going forward, and it's not going to entangle with Mars like it's threatening to do, because Mars is in a hell of a sensitive place. It's mankind doing its healing it needs to do, and hopefully you know how to be cool with that with each other. It's really not a time to immerse yourself in each other's business, not more so than just checking in and say how are you? Do you have everything that you need to stay in your mode of rebuilding your skin? And that's what we're kind of doing. See, literally, it's the biggest, most auspicious time that's going to keep leading into this prelude of major changes that humanity is going to it's ongoing, babes. I don't know what to tell some narcissists and people that think they really know what's happening because, well, if you don't know astrology and you don't do it, you don't know shit. You're listening to politicians and you have an idea, some kind of historical, you're fed a bunch of shit. You think you know the system and how, what good that is and what's happening with that. You think you belong to that. I don't know. You belong to the solar system, if anything. Come on now. Anyway, let's get back to, you have, yes, celestial um, origins, and you are a celestial being. It's coming through you. Now, what are you? See, the astrology is pointing at the feminine side, which is not going to entangle with Mars. It's heading into a square. It's going to be a mild square, but then she pulls away. And she does not get involved with Mars, that's in a peculiar place that just needs to be alone at this time, see. And so she is doing this work of very ambitious with the starting out with in Aries. We're in the retrograde shadow now, and it's a Mars ruled Venus, so it's looking at Mars. It's saying, oh babe, you are broken. You are broken, and there's violence all around you. You know, your need to heal is being attacked. Your ability to heal is being attacked. Venus is looking at this now with Mars, because she's Mars ruled right now in Aries, and she's almost gonna start entangling with this Mars. It's literally having its time. It needs to strip down away its old shell and be very vulnerable. And it's like it's in a very, I must admit, I'm a Martian person, and I'm not being directly, my Mars and is not directly affected. Well, it's affected. Well, it's my Saturn is involved, and I'll get back to you on this. Yeah, it pivots right on the degree of my Saturn in Cancer. So I take all it back, and it's like, yeah, no, I'm experiencing something very, very real. I don't want to lose my home. I am defending it now. I am leaning towards that. No, I need a community around me. I need a real relationship, a good teammate, and then what I have from this, whether it's soul or not, I share it wholeheartedly. I want to trust that thing. See, without communications, you don't have any kind of anything real happening. If it's not real communications, if it's spotty, if it's shoddy, if it comes from a place where it's like, babes, you didn't even work that out logically in your head, like in accordance with the laws of physics and even an experience that we're actually having here. You're going by the government suggestion, and it's like, babes, do not. And see, I don't want to be shoved through any kind of buddy else's cookie cutter version like that. If See, communications is what can start to expose the dynamic that says, no, this is an actual compliment, but you do not have shit, and you're just ships passing in the night if you do not know how to absolutely high volume and also be there, not just in and out. See, this is where I'm experiencing something. This is where I'm wanting to take a break, clean from it. Um, it's like, well, if you can't take a break, I will. These people that, yeah, they're working say the 9 to 5, Monday to whatever for Friday. Very terrible. See, you see it, and I'm backing away from my personal experience, and whatever person's listening to it's like, babe, I'm not ungrateful for whatever efforts you're trying to put in me. Really, there's something that needs to be separated out. I'm trying to get my time. I couldn't have it. I snapped, and I've never didn't know that that's what would happen. I'm just observing this. It's like, wow, see, because I'm trying to be there for people, even though I need to be there for myself. Like 100%, I need my time alone. There's a profoundly auspicious time happening to me. See, with all of this, babes, I don't need to explain myself. I think that I was being held down ultimately. If it's a constant struggle to be heard and communicating, and all you're trying to do now is say, look, this needs to be seen. We need to communicate more. If you're doing that for like another year, a whole year and a half, you're fucking exhausted by now, and you've said all you had to say, and you cannot do any more. Your skin is so thin, not only because you're trying to change your skin or get into the bigger skin or whatever. It's because you have been worn down thin. You've done leaned over backwards. You see, there's people manipulating us, and can we prove that that's not happening? And see, I can't prove that any of it's happening. I need to get my own income. I'm struggling with that. And a lot of people here are just, you're stuck in a terrible place too, but of not being able to help anybody either. See, it's very an auspicious time. So the feminine is trying this thing. Now, while it's in Aries, Aries is a very communicative, chatty kind of people. They just blah, 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 they'll say something right away. They stand up for people. They stand up for themselves. They stand up for the environment. They're the first responders, and they're going to use their voice. And they are, and they also are just highly expressive, and they're funny too, right? They're going to have a sense of humor, and if they're not standing up for people, and cussing, they are telling a joke that is also a cuss too. And you're going to have to handle cuss words, otherwise you're just not qualifying to be in our presence as Aries. So anyway, back to, and anyway, I have a cuss jar though. My Cash App, my address is AEIOU2. $300 goal gets a whole month of no cussing from me. Because I realize some people don't like it. I'm like, well, you can pay me not to cuss. Humor me? Humor me. Human me? Human me? Me human? No human? Not you? Not me? Oh. Well, you don't know how to live, you don't know how to give, and we are going nowhere. Not even with money. Never with money. Boy, that's a tedious place right there to not be human at. Any place is really, it's just not doing anything at all right. That's what we have the complaint of the narcissist. It's like, do you realize that we keep trying to fucking forgive you, like to say, And I've never really, it's unfortunate. It's a handicap. You don't want to start saying, damn these people and they're evil. No, look and see that if it's a genuine fucking handicap. Something happened to them when they were smaller. It's as good now. It could be. You only wish it was blatant abuse, like physical, sexual, because that's you can work through that. You can bring up the wound. You can work through it and heal it with a form of therapy that is very controversial, maybe. But no. Anyway, if you're meant to heal, you heal. I don't know. Some people don't. I don't know, babes. This is a weird place. I feel like I should cut my hair a little bit. But then again, I shouldn't because it's always looking terrible after I do it. Um, I wanted to explain that journey of Venus, and it's the feminine side. It's the woman, she's at all alive and here and well. She's going to try and help us. But it's actually just okay to try and make you understand that it's not really gender specific. Men have a feminine side too. It's the part of the organism that knows that actually we're here to have a good time. And can I just enjoy my blessings that I have coming from being here, just from being here, being the thing that I am, that I'm being present to things. I'm a lover. I love things. I pay attention. And now, don't I have good karma coming? Isn't this fun? Is it always, always, always the man's world kind of thing? I don't even mean it like that. No, see, the men, they know that too. They have a woman inside. The way that we're built is the woman has a man as a core. The man has a woman as his core. That, he has to have a strong armor because he has a very sensitive warrior in there that is very sensitive. It becomes an insecurity. It becomes an insecurity when he doesn't know his own intelligence, which is the man on the outside. He's stuck with that woman. He's born into the woman's world from a woman. This is a fact. And he has to find his intelligence as he's growing. By the time he's 3 or so, his mother should have kind of pushed him away into the man's world. Hopefully, he's able to see a man adjusting his mustache and his crotch and looking at women, not in a negative way. You start talking about it. You start showing how you care, your position of care and ability to take care. Because why? You have that physical strength. And you see, the big mistake that is happening is that women are weak. No, they have psychological strength. Men are psychologically weak. Women can actually have that physical strength. I mean, you can tell when they start bodybuilding, it's not really an issue. And we could say that perhaps the psychological strength thing is really an issue either, but we're talking about well-rounded people that get along together. They're hanging out with each other. They're working together. They're not segregating themselves and saying, well, I've seen it a lot, and I just think it's odd. I'm not against men and women having their own arenas and acknowledging their sacred space as what they are as men and women. But like now, when they're trying to work together, do they keep a totally separate thing and they don't talk to each other? And they're like, well, no, that's not my job. And so it's like, I don't know. I'm sorry if I sound confused, babes, because I just think that awareness is more human than even a man and woman at that point. Of just being humane, just being present. I know I'm hyperventilating and it's sounding weird, but I know that they both have their specific jobs. That's obvious. They love to do it. See, a woman would just be put on the spot if she had to do a man's job, which is to do that hardcore physical work. How about that? And to what? Sometimes they have to they use that physical prowess to fight and fend off his properties and stuff. And didn't just say that she's his property, babes. She has property. She has an army called men. There's something wrong with the global population right now that is struggling, and it's so unhealthy because, first of all, the woman is missing. She has a position of power here. How does it work? I say that they are the leaders. They get together and they create a one mind kind of thing, which is, it's going to start to, I hate to say this, but it's going to start to depopulate. You don't need such a big fucking crowd of shit happening on a scale that is echoing off in the distances, like the royals have created, the king and queen system. No, it's actually a queen and king system. It really is. If you look on the chessboard, the one that's more versatile, that looks like a fucking heavy duty technology, like a spaceship, is the queen. And she goes whip, whip, whop, whip, and then whip, and she's like, "I'll be back, dear. No, dear. And are you okay, dear? Yeah, okay." She's just protecting him. He just goes, "Wait, I gotta move once. Make your move. Okay, one." And he has the cross on his head. Needs a religion. His religion is to find God. Try to keep up with her. Try to keep up. She's managing a whole civilization. If you find yourself by the side of an alive woman, you become a king, and you can have this huge family. And the woman knows who that is. She has an army called men. Maybe they are echoing something that is supposed to be the royal thing, but did it get hijacked? I would say yes, because we would have so-called scripture and stuff in every single. And this is a weird conversation. In every single household, there would be a well knowing that every single household has a leader in it. If you're going to live that way, if you don't have a leader in it, that means you don't have a woman there. Or, okay, how about if you have your home as your body, your leader, thank you, God, amen, and a woman, your leader, I don't know, could you please stop this bias shit? I would love to. Your leader is your nervous system. The ability to discern is something safe or not. The ability to, okay, a woman, believe this or not, she's the quality control person. She has to. I keep leaning back to that because we cannot deny she's in the sky right now. She's Venus. She's lighting up. She might be chatty. She's a little bit chatty right now, and she has things to say. While she's kind of getting up near to Mars, and they're going to have a clash. They're going to have a major fallout. But she's like, no, excuse me. She's going to go backwards before this square happens. It isn't allowed to happen. This is in. Whoops. Pardon me, I was juggling my books here. It's important to know this dynamic that's happening in case you have a love relationship that you're looking to see. This is our love lives. We with Uranus in Taurus, which is in the sign of Venus. Venus ruled. See, we look at that with this Venus thing. Well, what is Taurus doing? Well, it has Uranus in it. It's asking for this change. It's asking for this to look into and rearrange our values system. It very much has to do with our money and how we make it and what we're paying for and why, who, what. Do we still stick with this, or does it just fly away? Because somebody just wants to make more and more money or something. That watch out where you put your money. Watch out where you're making your money. How about that? It should be coming from a place of unconditionality. Is that the right way to say it? Unconditionality? Sorry. Unconditional love. That's where it should be coming from. In God we trust. See, it should be coming from a place. Now, I'm almost going to say this, man, and almost going to mean it. But there's a way to know that there's always going to be a contradictive language because we're moving higher and higher, and it's going to have to loop back like that and understand that this is what's going to happen. That you shouldn't see any single one face handling money. It should just be that, no, this is your system that pays you to do the right thing. And the right thing to do is to farm. And so then everybody goes out and starts farming. And there's a standard for that. You can get $300 a day for pitching in 3 hours towards farming. How about that? You are to live based in contribution. And you sign up on this earth that way. That's why you wonder, well, why is money here and can't we escape it? Well, We will escape it away from being weaponry and turn it into livingry, something that we can use instead of be abused over. Now, how does that happen? Venus is going to figure it out. Venus is our money. Yeah. In astrology, it points at our money as well as Jupiter. And they're getting along pretty good. The Aries and Gemini, they do. But see, I'm talking about Venus, the movements of our nervous system, the love of our lives, our value, the woman, in case she's there. How's your love life doing? See, this is the thing, is it's about your feelings, about your heart. That she's getting very fired up right now. She's in Aries. She's looking great. She's like, ah. And she's looking at Mars over there going, oh my God, you are broken down. But yet you're trying to help us all. See, Mars is the hero. Mars is the man. And he's like, yeah, babe, but see, because I'm in Cancer, and it's just a hard place for us to. We don't like hanging out here in your place of like pure intuition and even having a period. We're going through a period right now. It's bleeding, and yeah, it's family though. It's about family. It's about safety of the family. It's about nurturing the nurturing side. Cancer. It's about feeling. It's like we're having to feel, dear. It's like I know, but I'm in Aries now. See, the Venus is in Aries right now, and it's doing retrograde shadow right now. It's heading up to Mars. It's threatening to square Mars. Those two are threatening to have a major clash. But before that can happen here, it's going through February that it gets very close. It gets 7 degrees away. It's a square. It happens. But she goes, you know what? I'm going to go, I'm getting out of here. And she backs away from completing that square. He actually moves forward and starts moving away from her, because at this time he's going backwards and they're kind of going to start squaring. But he has to move away. This is now, he's going to be going direct. Oh boy, we can't wait for that. In February 24th, Mars finally starts going direct, but it's still in Cancer, which is kind of uncomfortable. And now what we're doing now, but that it's moving forward, is that we're building our skin up now, our new kind of shell. If we were a mollusk, like a crab, that's how we would say it. And it's just a time of transformation for everyone. This is why you want to do astrology, and you want to listen to an astrologer, and you want to get on the same page. You're not an isolated incident. Is your life going through some kind of thing? Did you feel something with Mars squaring Chiron on the 6th here? Uh, uh, um, did you experience some kind of shakeup? I did. I couldn't handle being disrespected. This person is just laughing at me because they don't communicate, and it's never going to change. I don't know. I feel that they're just going like this. Whenever you're ready to decide, whenever you can save yourself from my fucking shit, then you're going to do it. See, I even heard from them one time before. See, I don't get good communication except for this weird game playing. It's like a movie. I've seen movies like this. The movies they have running today, you see that some of it, that they're trying to, the trailers that they're telling you to, look, this is the movie, where the man and woman are locked in this, and she's like, well, what do you want me? Do you want me to kill them for you? And he's like, no. Or something. It's like the weirdest conversation, and they both hate each other, and they're both locked in this comic shit. And she's like getting more and more dark, and he's getting more like, well, like happy that she's diving out the window as a bat, and he's like fucking picking his teeth like a vampire. I don't know. It's just like, what the fuck is going on? Because this is what I feel like I'm wrapped into. It's like they know full well, and I know full well, that it was never supposed to happen like this, but I've entangled you, and how do you like the trap you're in now? And it's like, it's not my trap, you're the trap. And they're like, no, I know, and I'm like, well, how are you handling it now? Because I'm just sitting in it like love, and I'm destroying your ass. And it's not even me destroying your ass, it's your fucking lame ass. What the fuck? I'm asking for space and time, because what if I do want to benefit from any of this? Because I can decide to do so or not. If I want to, I don't need to fucking feel like I'm under control of this fucking shit. So help me God. Amen. Why does it feel like that, hun? See, where I'm at right here is being 50 years old. I'm being logical. I'm like, we have experience. We should know by now. By now, that person, boy, 15 years older, they should know a lot of things. To me, it's like driving a car. Babes, I didn't know that people are doing this out there. I don't like how it's dangerous. It's dangerous to hold the steering wheel like this. You never hold the steering wheel like this. Old grandmas that can't see or something, they drive dangerously, by the way. People that don't know how to drive, they drive like this. They have their hand right here and they have their hands right here. Here's why it's dangerous. Um, you're not really solidly in direction. See, if you let go like this, you can go like that and it can pull. If you let go like this, and you're actually thinking that you're too jerky with it. See, a professional race car driver, a professional car driver, I see, I'm left-handed, but they taught me to write with my right hand. It's weird. Otherwise, I would show you with my right hand. But no, they hold the steering wheel like this. You hold the correct way. The right way to drive safely is with your hand on the top at about 12 or even maybe 12, 1150 or 1250. And because you're right now, if there's a line in the middle of the road, or if you have a middle of the road, you're aligned with it, and all you're doing is correcting the car when it goes out of line that way. You can't do that very easily like this. You're more like trying to control the car away from something that's already trying to just go forward. You're keeping it from being smooth then if you're going like this. This way, you're keeping it being smooth by just adjusting, tapping it this way and that way. And to make it even safer, you grab down here. Now, what is this, like 3 o'clock? That's the way you drive. You actually just kind of hardly hold it still. And you're still, see, now, if you can see the road in front of you, there's a line, there's the middle, and when there's a turn coming up, your hand turns with it. When there's a turn coming up, your hand, and it's not jerking any way, it's being safe. See, when you're going like this, when the road straightens out, the wheel straightens you out automatically. You're not doing it like this. You're totally out of control like this. This is actually dangerous. Good. See, I am talking like this because here's a fact. We need to bring all of this up and say, no, this is it. This is what's going on for many, well, at least a century, however long we've had cars. We can observe and see the very personality of somebody. It's hard to explain, but it's almost like doing an astrological reading by the way they drive. And then, so yeah, I don't know. I'm alone most of the time, and I drive myself everywhere. I have no at-fault accidents at all. Nothing. Not a record. There's one at-fault accident. It was their fault. I tried to avoid them. I did a good job doing that, but my car, they didn't stop. I swerved around. They still didn't stop. They ran a stop sign, and I came back and hit them. Thank God, because then if I didn't hit them, I would. Anyway. So, but no, I'm sorry. I mean, I went through all that. See, yeah. Now, a narcissist is known to backseat drive. They are people that have a terrible relationship with consciousness. They have none. They're not open to it. They're not aware. So they're non-self-reflective, and when they start backseat driving, they are not looking at that person. They're not respecting anything. You can't take it personally, but I do. That's a pet peeve of mine. Backseat drivers. You can't tell people what the fuck's going on. If you think you're actually telling people what's coming while they're driving, you're interesting. You're like weird. Is that the way you are? How are you when there's nobody there and you're driving? Are you going like this? Let go this way, you can go that way, let go this way. You just don't know how to just steer it, let it steer itself back into play. Naturally, a car's steering wheel it wants to correct itself and go back. And so you just let it correct itself. You're not constantly correcting it in the way that you're doing it. See, you're jerking us around in your passenger seat there. The way a narcissist drives, and they're mainly males, and I've seen it and I've been with it. It's so fucking unimpressive because Now, this is the truth, what I was trying to tell you. You can tell how people are in bed by the way they drive. It's like, it's the way that they're handling your experience, their experience, the experience of reality, the truth there, the turns, the whatever, the potholes. See, but what they do? Well, they'll just slam on the brakes. You're doing a nice stop, and everybody in the car, their heads are kind of moving forward, but then they make their heads go like this, and they like it. They just, that's their form of control. They like to control people on that level. They are control freaks. That's how you know that you have a narcissist there, is that they have a need for control. And that's one of them. Oh, and they will jerk the wheel. And it's like, well, after a while, if they've been doing that all their life, you get the impressions like, well, it's automatic. They want you to be unstable. They and you have to just kind of look over and think, fuck, thank God we're not in bed or something like that. Really, see, I after a while, I'm going to say something. It's not back seat driving. I'm just saying, babes, this ride, fuck, man, you're dangerous. Just the way you're holding your steering wheel. That's the look of like you've gone out of control. But when you're in control, this is the fact. Professional race car drivers are holding themselves like that. It gets pretty wild, and they will go like this and start holding it like this. But no, when they got their shit down, man, it's just very shh. If you want better control, you hold right here. This is a fact. And see, this is what happens naturally because of the way that the way that the curves are on the road, or a turn is. You're at 12 o'clock and now you're turning. Boom! By the time you're doing this, you're at a full turn that's gone this way, like on a road at an intersection, or if you've just gone hardly like this, the road is barely curved and it's very mechanical, correct. And yeah, it's weird because yeah, no, the driving thing. I can talk for another 10 minutes how this it 100% it reflects on who they are. See, and a healthy person wants to see you driving, right? They want to see how you are and see me. I have Mercury conjunct Uranus. I am qualified. My consciousness is the type I can operate any machinery. If I really want it, you just give me some time, show me the controls. After a while, I will be able to master it. I will click right in on it. I can fly a plane. I've flown plane. I've already racked up by, well, just, what was it, 45 minutes of doing specific maneuvering that qualifies as, well, I need 1,915 minutes more to rack up enough maneuvering and going with a pilot, other teacher that verifies that I know how to fly, and then I get my license. I know what my point is I can I can drive any car, any size car. What I mean is I can drive it, babes. Not just lollygag it like, oh, I'm crash, and then, no, I can handle it. Like, see, I pride myself see, there's pine cones that will drop on the road. I pride myself in being able to feel. I feel where my wheels are, and I can hit that pine cone. I can shoot it out this way, or I can shoot it out this way, or I can drive right over it. And I like to shoot them out this way, or whichever way is convenient. When it's like it's a video game, it's like, well, which way is the safest way to shoot out without crossing the line? And I'll just do it. And I'll go, and I'll get it to shoot out anyway. You don't want to hit them head on because they might be able to pop your tire, but not really. You have a cheap tire if that happens. Um, yeah, thanks for listening to me about that. See, it's like, you can tell these people do not want to get to know you at all. They, I cannot live in a household where the man is the one driving all the time. No, he should know that it's like, I can drive too if you're tired. I've had to fucking reach over from the back seat. Talk about backseat driving. I've had to reach over because the person was sleeping, and she is drunk or something, and I'm like, in the back seat of this fucking car with these people. He fell asleep, and I saw it. It's really early in the morning, and I reach over and I fucking grab the wheel, and I'm like, babe, do you want me to drive? I'll drive. It's like we were just getting home. See, the most accidents happen. Accidents happen the most just minutes before you get to your house, and it's coming to your house. It's usually right close to your house that fucking you have that accident. And here's why. It's because you think you made it. You're like, ah, fuck yeah, I made it. It might have been a 2 hour drive or a 4 hour drive or fucking a vacation for 4 weeks on a road trip and you don't get an accident. But you finally get in an accident when you come home because you just think you made it. And it's like, no, you have to be alert. You can't fucking at all stop driving, babes. And they get in an accident because they don't realize that somebody else was not paying attention, and you have to be always vigilant that something is going to come out at you. Anyway, God, thanks for listening to that. The point being is that no, I couldn't handle that. You might have had a Leo person in your life that technically they don't know how to drive. The Leos of the zodiac do not know how to drive. They're opposite of Aquarius, so they don't have the Aquarius knack down. Aquarius, if you have Aquarius in you, then you know how to drive, babes. You're the same as me. You're like, watch me, Mercury conjunct Uranus with Aquarius moon. I can um, I can swerve and hit a soccer ball a certain way at fucking and I do see it, the more aware you are, the more quicker you're going to go, and safely. You can, the more that you can just, if things are happening in slow motion, the and for other people it's happening quick, and that's what awareness is. And race cars know that, drivers know that one. But yeah, no, this is the way that it happens when you remain loosely in the natural state and you want to have good control of your turns. And um, it's particularly for sure, like on the curvy roads. But no, it's like this, and then if you can go like that to turn. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm on my backseat driving now, trying to tell people. But this is the thing: have you ever ridden with a narcissist that backseat drives, but then you're sitting in the passenger seat and you notice that they play all these games with their car that is they do all these things like this: jerk, creeps, just abrupt, and just creating a situation where you didn't have control of their body, and they some of them, if they're just not so covert about it, they'll just start laughing. And it's like, what kind of a person is this? It's the same as this. If I just like, well, let me just get this 2x4, and that's pretty much how they do, though. Been in households, I've seen them where that they don't do affection like petting each other and hugging. They punch each other, and you can tell that that's the only form of like acknowledgement of physical affection that they get between them. I mean, they are a family, and I suggest they get the fuck away from each other, but they're still living there, and it's like, this is emotional incest. Would you please get out of here? Sorry to break this to you, but no, it's happening in a lot of places. You can see it where the only affection that they do get is they get a bruise, and they laugh. They go, it's a cry laugh. They're just, I love you. That's not love, babes. Love does not jerk shit around. It dials right in. You don't even know that wheel's spinning. You're like, whoa. And that was fun. It was fun. I love being with you. I can trust that you have a smooth ride. Life is hard enough anyway, but wow, you actually missed that pothole. They can be pretty reckless drivers, though. See, right? They are going to hit that puddle, and I'm not saying that I'm not free of doing that. See, but there's a fine line with all of that stuff. But anyway, thanks for listening to that. Boy, I'm such an asshole. Not really. I'm tired of fucking hanging around assholes that really don't know how to live. See, the know how to live thing means this. We already know there's nothing new under the sun. It's kind of like there's a reason why we've always done it that way. Now, why do they change it? Well, because commerce. There's a shitty version, there's an in-between version, and then there's the actual version. Can you afford the actual version? Most likely, no. No way. Only the elite do, right? And there they are. And it's not even a good version. More and more you can see, oh, wow. Is that what money is buying you anymore? What if, okay, Uranus says, stop. Uranus and Taurus is ruled by Venus right now. Uranus is, and it's trying to say, you guys are running and playing this game, and it's trashing the earth. You're not even having fun. Your passengers are getting jerked around because you're a narcissist, and it's you know, life is hard enough, but then you have these assholes that don't know how to drive and they don't know how to have sex, and boy, and you hear it, you can hear it. It's like, oh, I want nothing to do with that. They're so wrong because all you can do, see, when it comes to the battle of the sexes thing, how that, well, babes, let's admit that you're handling a technology here when you're talking about if you want to have kids. First of all, it's women that have kids, not men. So then, whoops, here comes a mob. That's just the way to say it, just if you want to know the truth. Women have children here. Men don't. I don't know what the problem is with that, but anyway, so then they have to do quality control. They're not easy like you are, men. Men are easy, and they have to be pulled up into knowing something more complicating than just being easy. It's weird because women want to have fun and they're smooth and they do make things easy. It's weird, right? But they're not easy for men. No way. Not if you have kids with them. She's designed in a certain way. It's not as easy for her to just have an orgasm. It's really not. I'm speaking for like 80 to 90% that need a little bit more than just wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Well, really? Come on. And even if it's just that, um, everybody knows that a man, he hardly lasts for like 70 seconds. He has to be conditioned and realize, well, if we were even to just enjoy that, can you guys hang out, man, for a while? And actually listen to our feelings with it? I don't know. There's a give and take. I don't know. See, I don't like the subject matter, but we should be talking about it. And the reason why we would be talking about it, because Venus and Mars, Venus is in the sign of Mars right now. And then when Mars goes and opposes why is it bringing up all of it? It is bringing it up. I'm a Mars person and a Plutonian person. It's like, oh, I'm a highly sexual person. I admit. I don't display this everywhere. I'm not an addict. No, I said that I am satiated. A lot of satiated people are kind of attracted. You kind of do a double take and see sex is one of the only things besides for enlightenment that when you have walked the walk, now I'm talking about when you've actually, when you're actually doing it right, when you've had a worthwhile experience that both of you are having a great time. See, you wouldn't be able to talk about it and include somebody in on that conversation that says, no, yeah, you are including somebody in without there being a great time. See, it's the only thing that when you've walked the walk, you can talk the talk. And when you happen to talk the talk, talking about sex, particularly, well, around a woman, if you're a man, and you've actually really gotten involved with her sex, there's two here, which when it comes down to it, I must admit, man, you guys are fucking put on the spot. It's because she is complicated, way more complicated than you are. It has to be that way. See, her technology says, no, you have to learn something. You have to be able to learn something. You have to be able to solve a puzzle. You have to be able to see a pattern, repeat the pattern, or see the pattern and don't repeat the pattern if it's a bad pattern. See, if she doesn't see that you can't do that through just the way you're handling her body, she is obligated to hold back on her birth control. I mean, what I mean is she's obligated to control whether or not she can get pregnant right then. She's obligated. This is her job. This is her position of power. And not power, but this is what she has to do. She has to convert you into becoming more humane. She has to kind of slap you around. I want to say sexually, and believe me, you want that. You wanted something. You want something, and it's not just you. You have to learn to give yourself something too, of yourself. Like know who you are. Did you notice the way you are? What is going on? See, she has to rinse all of that out, and she does through her sex. That is, if she honors her body and knows how to have an orgasm. You see, I wanted to say further too that see the man that carries on with a purely sexual relationship with a woman without being bothering to have a communication with her, like to know her mind without bothering to really make a connection with her mind and be in communication. You have a back and forth that happens. I mean, like you cannot stop talking together. You didn't even know that. Oh my God, it's 3 o'clock in the morning and we had such a great time. Okay, I'll see you later. And you love hearing what the other person has to say, what they've heard about it, and to reflect on that. You're having a conversation. If that's not happening and you're just doing a sexual, see, what you're doing is as a man, is you're just masturbating on her. That's all. And if she is in consent with that, then that's what she's doing with you also. She's just masturbating. There isn't a real connection. There's a mechanical thing that you're doing. It could be based in there's lust. You don't really love each other. You don't care to know each other. You're just masturbating on each other. Otherwise, there's love making, and you're enhancing each other, and you're working together, and you're actually a hell of a power to reckon with. And Jesus says it just takes two or more. Just takes two or more.